Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the Roman Forum, its rise as the absolute heart of an empire, its epic fall into ruin, and its stunning rediscovery. For nearly 1,000 years, this very space was the vibrant, chaotic, and powerful center of the entire Roman world. Just imagine, it was the stage for triumphant generals, the marketplace for merchants, the courtroom for criminals, and the soapbox for senators. It was, in every possible sense, the nucleus of Rome. Looking at these scattered ruins today, it's kind of hard to picture that level of importance, right? How did the center of the known world become, well, this? That's the big question we're going to dig into. And yet, even as a ruin, its power is just undeniable. The Forum still pulls in over 4.5 million visitors every single year, all of them trying to piece together its incredible story from the stones left behind. To really understand the Forum, we have to go way, way back to its very beginning, a time when this valley was anything but a center for civilization. Believe it or not, this site of the Forum was originally a marshy, basically uninhabitable lake that collected water from the famous Capitoline and Palatine hills. It was a bog, seriously. And way back in the 10th century BC, it was mostly used as a burial ground. The transformation from a swamp to a city square was all thanks to a truly incredible feat of early Roman engineering. In the 7th century BC, they built the Cloaca Maxima, the greatest sewer, to drain the valley and funnel all that water into the Tiber River. This engineering marvel was a complete game changer. It made everything that came next possible. And with the land finally reclaimed, the Forum's evolution just took off. You can see it happen step by step. It went from a cemetery to a place for religious rituals, then it was paved, and by the 6th century BC, the first big, monumental buildings started to go up. Okay, so with the foundation set, the Forum grew into the undisputed heart of the Republic, and later on, the empire itself. Just try to wrap your head around the sheer variety of life packed into this place. A victorious general would parade his spoils in a massive triumph. Politicians would get elected. Orators would deliver these fiery speeches to huge crowds. Major criminal trials were held here, and sometimes even brutal gladiatorial matches, long before the Colosseum was ever built. It was the nerve center for absolutely everything. Unlike a modern city center that's all planned out on a grid, the Forum wasn't designed all at once. It just grew, organically. For centuries, new temples, government offices, and monuments were just added bit by bit, gradually cluttering the whole area. This map gives us a great sense of that organic, sometimes messy growth. You can see the structures from the Republican era all mixed in with later additions from the Empire. You can almost feel how each generation added its own layer, building on what was there before, creating this incredibly dense and historically rich landscape. Now, you'll see the word basilica a lot when you look at the Forum, but here's a key thing to remember. In a Roman context, this was not a religious building. It was a massive, multi-purpose public hall. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of a courthouse, a stock exchange, and a community center all rolled into one. And this is the thing. The Forum wasn't just a backdrop to history. It's where history actually happened. Can you imagine standing on the very spot where the great orator Cicero denounced a conspiracy, or where Mark Antony stood before the Roman people to eulogize the murdered Julius Caesar and completely turn the tide of history? But, of course, no golden age lasts forever. So let's move on to the next chapter in the Forum's story and see how this vibrant center began its long, slow decline. First, though, take one last look at the Forum in all its glory. A sea of marble, towering columns, gleaming bronze statues, just teeming with the citizens of a superpower. Okay, hold that image in your mind, because now we get to see it fall. So, when the Western Roman Empire finally collapsed in the 5th century, Rome's population just cratered. A city of over 1 million people shrank to maybe just tens of thousands. With no central government and a tiny population, the grand public buildings of the Forum were just neglected and fell apart. For 1,000 years, debris and dirt washed down from the hills, burying the ancient streets. Eventually, the Forum's location was just called the Campo Vaccino, which literally means the cattle field. You'd have artists painting its romantic, overgrown columns, often with no idea of the incredible history buried just feet beneath the grazing cows. But neglect wasn't even the worst of it. During the Renaissance, Rome started to rebuild, and it needed material. The Forum became the most convenient source imaginable.
Popes and nobles just systematically dismantled the ancient structures. Marble and travertine were hauled off to build the magnificent new St. Peter's Basilica and lavish palaces. Anything that couldn't be reused was often just burned in kilns to make lime. It's a tragic irony, isn't it? The heart of ancient Rome was literally quarried to build the heart of Renaissance Rome.
So, after centuries of abandonment and destruction, the final phase of the Forum story is one of rediscovery, of peeling back all those layers of time to find the glory that was lost. The slow process of uncovering the Forum really began in the early 19th century. By 1898, the work became official and much more scientific. Archaeologists began the painstaking process of removing tons and tons of earth to reveal the ancient ground level, a process that is still going on to this very day. And the results are what we get to see today. These iconic structures, like the 8 columns left from the Temple of Saturn, which was both a temple and the state treasury, were brought back into the light, standing now as these powerful symbols of Rome's incredible endurance. And what's absolutely incredible is that the Forum is still revealing its secrets. Recent excavations have uncovered walls and pottery from all the way back in the 9th century BC. That pushes the city's origins back more than a century before its traditional founding date. The very stones of the Forum are actively rewriting history. From a swamp to the center of the world, to a cow pasture, to a treasure trove of history. The story of the Forum really is the story of Rome itself. And it makes you wonder, after surviving so much, what other secrets might it still be waiting to tell us?